Hi everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts, and thank you for joining me today for another Fun Fold Friday. Today we are making a stair step card. I think I've made this in the past, but maybe a little bit different. This is the card from the overlooking view here, and this is what it looks like. So there's different steps, and you can add different elements. So I kind of was looking for things that would pop up, and I came across the boardwalk. What is it called? Beach boardwalk. So this has some fun paper. I actually just punched the merry-go-round from the paper, and some of the paper has, let me get it out. there's lots in the paper. So let me just show you. So I did take one of these tags. It looks like, you know, a ticket to get on a ride. So you can punch it or cut it out with a die cut. I'll show you that in a minute. This I used for the back of here. This is the paper. It's really fun. I love these. It's the sun. It's kind of gets darker from the top to the bottom. And this you can just cut in half and do something in front. This looks like a nice water. So these are the papers, and let me just show you. This is the stamp set. So I stamped part of the roller coaster, and then I die cut the little cars that go on it, and I cut it to fit here. So you only really see part of it. And then the Ferris wheel, I just die cut. These are the dies. So I die cut the Ferris wheel, and then you get all these little like seats that go around. So I die cut this. You get 6 of them, and there's 12, but I wanted 3 colors, so I did it 3 times. And then I have the Pretty in Pink, the Daffodil Delight, and the Balmy Blue. And then I just die cut a star to put in the middle. What else? You could do palm trees. I did get the happy birthday from here and enjoy the ride. So this is the ticket. So it cuts right out of the paper, or you can cut your own. But I like this little part of it. And on the back, I just stamped some of these. You don't need to put a back on it. You can actually put something here if you want. But I don't think you would. I guess you could put it in there if you wanted to. Probably the same size if you wanted to. But I kind of thought the back would work. So it's a nice card to stand up. And let's make today's card. So today we are using... I love this. I love plants. So when I saw this, and I had so much fun with this, I already stamped and cut a lot of things already. So we'll go through that. But it's called the Help Me Grow, and this is the stamp set. And you can stamp the handles for the little Reiki thing, the scissors, and the shovel. You can stamp the pots, and then you can die cut them differently. Let me show you how this works. So these are 2 different pots. We are going to stamp one more pot. So there is a pot. There's 2 of these. And if you don't want to, if you're not interested in this set, just skip ahead to learn how to make the card. But I just love this. So you can stamp this, and then it's this size, and then you could just die cut it, right? Or you can stamp and cut it with this one, and it gives you this little cut in here, so you can put something in here, okay? So I did the 2 sizes. The paper I used for this is a new paper that's out, and it is called Wood Grain Wonders. And this has some great wood grains, and I thought it would work good for this type of a card. But this will be good for a lot of guy cards for sure. Okay, so that's the paper. So I used the dark brown, the early espresso. I don't know if you could see the grain in here. And I just cut a large one. Then I stamped this one with this stamp, and I cut it with this to get this smaller one that has that little inside. So that's one thing. Then all of these have 2. So you can either stamp and cut, or you can just cut. And I'll show you what I did. Same thing with the shovel. You can stamp and cut, or you can just cut and get this kind of embossed look. The same thing with the pitchfork, or the whatever you call it. So you've got, so this has like these embossed lines, and the same thing with this. This is actually the handle that you can stamp with stamps here, and I'll show you how that's all going to work. Excuse me. And then there's this, which are the scissors. And then this one, I found out by accident. This will cut a, where do I have it? So this is like the dish that your pot would sit in. So you can stamp it, or you can just cut it and then have your pots have a dish that they sit in. Okay, so that's that. I just want to go through all of this. So I've already cut these. So this is, I stamped I stamped with this, or no, I didn't stamp. This is silver foil. I stamped these two, the leaves and the flowers, to get the handles, and then I die cut them with this big die, okay? Like this. So I did 2 for that. Then for these, I didn't stamp or anything. I just die cut with the small shovel. See how it has the lines? And then this is this. And then I stamped, I know I'm probably driving you crazy. I stamped with the flowers and the leaves, and then I die cut, as I said, the big one with this, and then this one is the smaller one. When I saw this die, I thought it was a bow tie, or a regular tie. But it gives you just a little, there's a little hole here, there's a little lines. So I thought that was cool. So I did that for both of these to get the smaller one. And then for the bigger one, I used that. All right, what else do I want to show you? I didn't get into these. I think these might be scissors as well that go together. I wanted to show you, because I struggled with this. I saw a lot of cards that had these flowers, and I was like, where did they get these flowers from with the different center? So this is, the flowers are this, and I don't know why they did that. So you get 2 flowers and a leaf. So I stamped it, or I cut it in white, basic white, so I ended up with a white leaf. I'm not sure why we have that. So you get 2 sets of them. And I was like, well, where did the center come from? So the center came from, where is it? This. I really had a hard time figuring this out. The center came from this. So this has these 3 leaves. Now I would want these in green, I think. And then the centers are, there's 3 of them. And so you kind of have to die cut multiple times. Unless you want the white leaf and you want this to be the same as this. So just so you don't struggle with it, okay? I have UPS here. Okay, I wanted to stop it because my dog was barking. UPS delivering some more Stampin' Up! Products. So the other thing is I did... So we're going to use all of these, but I thought it would be just easier to show me. So these leaves I cut using this die. I cut a couple of them, and we're going to try to figure out how to arrange them. These flowers, I used this die and this die. This gives you 2 like clumps, and this gives you 1, and I cut it a few times from Petunia Pop. So we'll arrange those, I think, on these leaves. So this is Mossy Meadow, this is Old Olive. So I did this one twice. It kind of reminds me of geranium leaves, maybe. No, not geranium. I don't know. Maybe hydrangea. I don't know. And then I just did a circle. I was trying to figure out how we're going to do this. This, the same thing. So you're going to get, you could either stamp and get the big one, or just cut it. I cut it from that wood grain paper. And then I cut this from the lighter wood grain paper. Okay, so these are all the dies. There's lots here. I think it's really fun to play with them and get what you want. I'm going to put this all aside. I hope I have all my dies there. And then we're going to build the card and get it all made. So let me put this somewhere where I don't lose it. Okay, so I think the first thing we want to do is stamp our pot so you can see that in action. So I have, let's see, pecan pie is what I did this one in, because I want 2 of those pots. So we're just going to get a scrap of paper and we're going to just stamp it. And this is a great color for this pot, but you can make it any color really. And then what we'll do is we'll take the die. So again, I'm going to use the smaller die. The bigger die will fit around it and just cut it out without the slit. But I think I want the slit, so I'm going to use the smaller die. So let me get my machine out and push this all aside. Okay, so I have my base plate, my number 2, my number 3 cutting plate, and then we're going to put this down, turn this over, and I just tried to kind of line it up. I don't know that it really matters where the cutting line goes. And then we'll pull this out and put a top plate on. And squeeze it down and run it through. Oops, I see it shifted. Is it going to shift again? It's going to shift again. I think I really need to get a new plate. I'm going to just put a piece of tape here. I'm going to turn it around. This I think is too bowed. All right. Does that happen to you? Sometimes it just shifts. So that Post-it tape, I always have a piece around. And we'll put this aside, put this back with our dies. And then we have another pot with the little slit. Okay? All right, so we're going to use that on the card as well. So now let's get to the mechanics of the card. We'll put this aside. Okay, guys, this is take 2. I went through the whole card and I realized that somewhere along the line it stopped recording. So this is the card I made without you. So we're going to make it again. So we have the card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself. I'm trying to figure out what I said and what I didn't say before it stopped working. So we're going to have the 5.5 side up here, and we're going to go out to 3 3/4. Is that right? 3 3/4, or 2 3/4. I'm sorry. We're going to go out to 2 3/4, and we are going to cut that, but we're going to cut it only part way. Okay, so we are going to it's very hard because this is dark. I don't know if you guys use this side of the ruler, but if you have a dark piece of cardstock, if you just put this in here, piece of scrap, all of a sudden you can see it. So we are going to score it at 1 1/4, or not score it, cut it 1 1/4, and we're going to go all the way down to 6 1/8. Okay, and that is 2 3/4 out, and then we're cutting it 1 1/4 and 6 1/8, and you're going to have this. You're going to have a fat side and a narrow side. So you'll see the score line is here to here. So the fatter side we're going to put in. We have to open up our arm for this because we want to start scoring at 6 1/8, which is right up, it's hard to tell because of the arm, but it's right up where the dark color meets the light color. That's 6 1/8. Okay, and then we're going to score. So we want our cutting blade up, and we're going to score from this line down. Okay, and if you can't see that, you can put this here, and it should be 2 3/4 should be where the line is, because that's where we cut it. Okay, so whatever works easier for you. So we're just going to score it. I like to go up and down a couple of times, and that's 6 1/8. And then we're going to go 4 1/4, and the 4 1/4 is going to be all the way across. This is where our card will fold to make it an A2 size. Then we're going to go down to 3 1/8. That's the only place you're going to score all the way across. 3 1/8, and we're going to again score from the cut line down to the edge. Then we're going to go out to 2. And take your time with this. Same thing, we're going to go cut line to the edge. And then we're doing 1 1/4, which is going to bring us right to where our cut line ends. So I'm going to look on this side for the score line, or the cut line. We're going to score. Okay, it's not as hard as it looks. You just have to kind of pay attention, have it well lit so you can see. And if you go over a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes what you can do is get your bone folder and just kind of smooth it out a little bit. But nobody's going to notice it, I promise. Okay, so now we're going to fold our card in half, and let's burnish it. And then we're going to fold this bottom one goes down. So it's like a mountain fold, and then this is a valley fold. Mountain fold, valley fold, and you have your card. Okay? And we're just going to burnish these so they're nice and crisp and everything sits nicely. This one kept spreading out like this, so I put it actually under a book last night. And it really stands up nicely now. Okay, so now we're going to decorate. And let's see, I have all my pieces. I had to recut everything. I can't believe I didn't have my video going. So we have this piece, and this is from that, I think I showed it. This is from the Natural Wood Grain Wonders Desire Series paper. So we're going to use that, and I have just this color. There's this lighter color on here, whatever color you want, or you could just use cardstock, or you don't even have to do this part. I've seen them where you just decorate the cardstock for the card base. So let's put this one. So this is 2 5/8 by 4. And that's just going to come right here. And then this one is 1 3/4 by 2 5/8. So that's going to go there. And on this card, I didn't even put anything in this middle one because this covered the whole thing. But I wanted it on the other steps. So whatever you want to do. And then these are both 1 by 2 5/8. And that's going to go in here. And this one, I really want to go right up to here, which makes it a little short here, but I had the whole strip cut, so I'm okay with it. I'm going to put a sentiment across here. So if you want to make this longer, I would make it 1 by 2 3/4 to come out here a little bit more. But I'm going to just leave it like this for now. I cut a whole strip at 2 5/8. So once you do that, you're kind of stuck with it. All right, I think it's okay. I don't think it's a problem. So now we have our steps all done, and now we want to decorate. So I went and recut all these pieces. So we have 2 pots. We have this pot that I die cut from the designer series paper with the bigger die, and then this I die cut with the smaller pot die that has that cut in it. And I thought we would just put these in here, 2 of these. Somehow like this. Okay, and then I also want to put this hello sign in here. So let's stamp the hello sign. So I have hello, and that's right from the stamp set, and we're going to stamp it in early espresso. Make sure I'm recording here. I don't know what happened before, because I always have it on airplane mode, so nobody bothers me. But somehow, when I went to look at it, I was like, where's the rest of it? While we have this out, let's stamp our sentiment. So I have a strip. I always have these strips around from when I do my inside layers. This is a 1/2 inch strip by whatever. And we are going to, so both of these are from the Help Me Grow, Love You Bunches and Hello. So I thought this was a great sentiment. Love You Bunches. And it's pretty tight. I went a little too low. I hit it before I was ready. But you know, we have 2 sides of our paper, so, and I have tons of these, so not a problem. Love You Bunches. Isn't that cute? And this would be a great card just to give somebody. It'll sit on a shelf. They could look at it, and it's kind of a home decor thing almost, right? And we're just going to cut this at an angle. Nobody will see that. And let's attach this to the backing. Now they're both with that wood grain. This is the darker color, and then this is the lighter color that we put here. And we're just going to dab a little bit. I should probably have my silicone mat here. I always forget to pull that out. It's really great if you use it. Okay, and somehow I want this to go in here as well. Come on. I'm trying to pick it up without causing a problem here. Maybe back here. Hello. What do you think? All right, so I am just going to put a piece of Scotch tape back here. I don't think anybody's going to really look at the back of the card. So, and I'm not putting a backing on this, a sentiment on the back. So I think this will work. Okay, so I want this to be over here, and then this next to it. Okay, and we want to make sure this doesn't get caught in here. I did that on the other card. It's a good thing I tried it, because you'll see, you know, live and learn, right? So this is too far over. So let's put this down with some liquid glue, and I'm only going to put it on the bottom. And we want to make sure this is over here. Okay, and then this one, oops, that hello is behind the branches. Well, that's good. This one we'll put on with dimensionals. So we're getting to the end of my dimensionals here. And again, we only want to put this on the bottom. And if you don't like this look, you could probably put another pot back here to cover it, but I think it's okay. So this is going to go a little bit lower. So it's standing in front of that pot. Let's see how we did. Okay, so that's cute, right? Hello. And then this pot is going to have these in here. And I'll do the same thing. I'm going to put them in, and then we'll put some flowers on them, but I'll put them in first. And this is Mossy Meadow. This one is Old Olive. And let's put a piece of Scotch tape down on that. And then we can glue these down. And you're probably wondering what I'm doing with those. Wait and see. We'll get there. All right, so a little bit of glue. Let's see where we want to put these. There's like a couple of different sizes. And I think they look like hydrangeas. I don't know. We have some down here too. I cut 2 sets of everything, so. Okay, let's try this. See how we go. I'm just putting tiny bit of glue, and it will probably end up on my paper. So let's get I have it right here, my silicone mat, because I'm going to end up a little bit on the paper, I think, the way this is. I don't know where it's going to sit, so I'm just putting glue on all the flowers, and then it may not sit on a leaf. And we'll do this one. I think these are really pretty. It would be pretty in like a Highland Heather as well. And of course, as I go, I'm putting them in different places than I first started. Do you do that when you're arranging them, and then you end up doing something different as you go, as you put them down? So just a little bit of glue here, and these are going to come down here. Okay, I think that's enough. I have some extra, but I think we're good. So then this is going to sit on this middle step, and again, I'm going to put it down with dimensionals, just on the bottom, down here. And I guess I could have put that back one up a little bit higher. I feel like it's a little low. This one, just want to make sure it's not going to get caught up in that. Okay. And I'm really not putting anything popping up down here. So on this, I thought I would take my 2-inch hole punch and punch into this paper and just get a circle. I could do either side, but I think I'll do this side. And then I thought I would just put these down kind of crisscross. All right, so just going to put the handles down first, or with glue. Just like crisscross. I'm not using that big, those big shears. I just wanted to show you how they worked, but so see, these have the smaller, the die, and these are the bigger one. And this is very easy to use. Let me just show you how this stamped, because I was surprised at how easy it was. So I used Garden Green, and these look like something I've seen in a store, to be honest. I mean, it's what they had in the with the sample, so I just went with the colors. So there's 2 stamps. This is the leaves, and you just stamp it. And then the flowers I stamped in Daffodil Delight. And it looks kind of funny, but you could tell this is the round part. And then you're going to do, so you have to make sure that the flatter part, see it's upside down. I have to go this way. And you're just going to line up the flowers within the leaves. Isn't that great? So you just have to see, like, there's a flat part and a rounded part on both of them. And then you can either die cut it with the larger die to get the full, or die cut it with the smaller die and it'll do the inside. So this is what it looked like when I die cut them. There's still some left over. And that, you know, if you're a little bit off with your stamping, I think the smaller one gives you a little grace there. So that was where I had all my pieces. So this is going to come on here. And then this will come down here. Okay. And we'll put them both down, I think, with dimensionals. I think I need a new thing of dimensionals. I have one right here. And we'll get this. I am still recording. Yay. That was a bummer. I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? How am I not recording? So love you bunches, and I love this script. So this is going to come right here. And then this will come right up here. So this would be a great card for somebody who is a gardener like me. I would love something like this sitting out. Okay. I think it's really pretty. You can't see it. This is what it will look like for you. All right. So again, I put this, I might do it the same thing, put it under a book so that it flattens out. And if you want to put some bling on it, you can. So I just want to go over, these were the Stair Step card, or Friday the 13th. I'm not even here. I'm in California doing my on stage, the convention for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, which is, I'm sure I'm having a blast, but I made this ahead of time. So next week we'll make a W-fold pop-out card. This is my inspiration calendar for March. If you'd like a copy of this each month, you can subscribe to my email list, and there's a link below. There's a link for the project sheet with all the directions and measurements for these cards. And so I always do sketches. I do color combos. You can see them on my blog or my Facebook page. And then these are just some inspiration reminders to send out and make your cards for different occasions, birthdays, Easter, that kind of thing. All right, so I will see you next week. I hope you had a good time watching this and you give it a try, and let's see what you make. Post it on my Facebook page. I'd love to see other ideas for this kind of a card. All right, have a good week.